It's 5:01 already. Nobody's still there. Good morning. It's already 5:01. Let's all rise. Today is March 29th, 2014. Here at Washington Family Church, National Cathedral, let's begin our Hoon Dok Hae by offering one standing bow to our beloved true parents. 하나님과 참 부모님의 저기대 경배 바로 is that unsealed today? Is it unsealed today? Okay, it's tomorrow. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, we're so grateful for this beautiful and not so cool morning. We pray for our true mother, who is now in Kona, Hawaii. We pray that our leaders would meet her there in True Parents Day. We pray for their safety as they travel to Hawaii, and we pray for our true Father who is looking at us from heaven and from the spiritual world. We pray that He's always there, always, as we call on Him, as well as all the good angels and the heavenly generals and the saints who have done Your will throughout the ages. We pray for the protection of the true family, the true grandchildren, their good health and prosperity. We pray as well for all our leaders who are traveling there. We pray for their safety, and we pray that they will have all the support also from all their congregation and members from all over the world, that they can go and meet our true mother in Kona, Hawaii. We pray for their success and prosperity as they make their reports for true mother there in Kona, Hawaii. We pray for our leaders in the world headquarters, with the UPF chairman, Dr. Chang Shik-Yang, and the international vice presidents and all the new leaders that just were installed a few weeks ago. We pray for them. We pray for Reverend Thomas Wang and his family, one of the international vice presidents, and we pray as well for all the continental leaders from South America, in Africa, Europe, in Oceania, Reverend Dong Kim, in Asia. We pray for Reverend Chong Chik Yong And we pray for our own leader for North America and the Caribbean, Reverend and Archbishop Hoon Dok Hae. We pray for his safety and success always with his family. We pray also for the national leaders all over the world, in 200 plus countries. We pray for their success always. We pray that they too can meet our true mother in Kona, Hawaii, and go there safely. We pray for our president here in the United States, of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, Reverend Dr. Michael Malcolm, his staff and his family there in 4 West 43rd Street. We pray for their success always, and we pray for all the regional leaders and district leaders who are going to Kona, Hawaii. We pray for our leader here in the 1st District, or District 1, Reverend Ernest Patton and his wife, Keiko Patton. We pray for their good health and safety, and we pray as well for all the center leaders and pastors all over the world, especially here in the Mid-Atlantic area. We pray for Reverend Akira Ota in Norfolk, Virginia, Father Adrian Bayo in Richmond, Virginia, and in Tulsa, Maryland. We pray for Reverend James Stewart and his wife, Auntie Keely. And we pray here in the Beltway. We pray for Miss June. And in Maryland area, we pray for Reverend William Stephens and his wife, and all the co-pastors, including Miss Jones. We pray for them that they will reach or even surpass their goals and can contribute many things to our district. And we pray for our Washington Family Church, Pastor Reverend Zachary Oliver and his wife Kung-san and daughter Brianna. We pray for his success always, and we pray for unity with our church council and all the members all over the Washington D.C. area. We pray for all the churches around us here. We pray that we can invite them one by one, the pastors every week, one pastor each week, and we pray for good health and prosperity. And we pray all of this in all our names and in my name, Athanasius Francis C. Catalan, blessed and the family. Aju, Aju, Aju. You want to read? Yes, Nita will read a few pages.
Instead of like you do.
So we are now on page 419. It's a timely topic. Number 7, women who defeat the people's army. So he's coming here.
That people's army?
Yes.
Oh Lord. Good morning. All right. According to the principle of restoration, woman is responsible for the final victory because woman was seduced by Satan. Even though men also fight by their sides, women are responsible for the final victory. Do you understand what I'm talking about? It is women who are responsible for it. That's not men, that's woman. Therefore, when we think about what women have to do, W-O-M-E-N, woman, not women. in the Unification Church have to be responsible for the final front line. Isn't it surprising? Among many nations, the superior nations are gone somewhere. The superior churches are gone somewhere. The superior people in charge of the church are gone. And very simply, people stand up to be responsible for the world. Is it a good thing? Is it such a surprising thing? Surprising? It is a good thing as well as a surprising thing. And the people laughed. If you accomplish it with a great victory, it is a truly surprising thing. Do you understand? You should see how I look with this light. I look like a little everywhere. If we persevere and accomplish this, the world will be caught by its tail. When you look at hawks flying, each one makes sure to have its own place. Centered on a first commander, crying out loud, they fly, thinking. Everyone on earth follows our example, don't they? See? So, as humans, everyone is talking, saying that he is a commander. Such a time has come. Unless woman in the Unification Church can bring victory over the People's Army of North Korea, we can't build the heavenly kingdom. It has to be so, logically. Therefore, women in the Unification Church have to be so reckless and tough that they can swallow up the People's Army. If you are afraid, you shouldn't even have believed in the Unification Church. I'm speaking frankly. But what I am talking about is true. The reason, W-O-M-E-N, that's woman, right?
Yeah.
That's what, shouldn't it be women?
Yeah.
I don't know. The reason women have to be so tough is understood when we think about by whom men initially fell. Who let the archangel in? Eve did. Who stands as a worldwide archangel? Communism. It is communism. Since it is the greatest monster of what initially came through woman, the woman has had to swallow the strongest monster, man. It is all right if the fallen woman stands on the side of good. Therefore, in the Unification Church, we create the strongest woman and arm them with a theory that can swallow satanic communism. Now is the training period. Do you understand? I am doing okay here, folks. Anyway, here, dear. Oh, now it's Brother Francis going to take over. It's really funny. Okay, do you understand? And first, women. Wow.
So we're still on page 420. First, only communist countries trained women to fight a battle. The nation of Israel and Korea were next. In Korea, women have fought. Have women fought in any other country? Historically, there are no examples like that. Ladies, could you go out and fight? Yes. With what can you fight? With the soft part of your bottom? With your breast? There was laughter. With what do you fight? You have an enemy of love. You have to fight with it. From now on, I will mobilize women to train themselves to win the fight against Satan. Women in the Unification Church will lead the battle. In a battle against an enemy, you have to crush communism more than the Hakuba unit, Moko unit, or Syrio unit. At that time, should men watch from the sidelines and cheer them? There was laughter. Should we do it? We have to triumph over Satan, the archangel who has dominated the whole world until now. You don't belong to Satan anymore, because women made the foundation of resentment by disobeying God's order. You have to destroy the foundation of resentment by women's hands, women's sincerity, and woman's power. In order to do it, you have to start. Because it is a strict principle for women to do this, the revelation of true women can be done fundamentally until we destroy the foundation of resentment. We're now on page 421. You have to know that women have to go out to fight when people on the heavenly side fight against the communist satanic side. Originally, women pulled Satan in, so women have to go out to kick him out. In our course of God's will, women have to overcome communism in order to restore the nation and the world. Men have the mission to carry the shells. You have to know it. Unless women destroy communism, we can't build heaven. Now, the power of the People's Army is so strong that in the history of restoration on the heavenly side, or restoration Eve on the heavenly side, has to conquer them. Eve on the heavenly side has to take care of the People's Army and cook them completely. What are we going to do in the Unification Church? You have to have such power as to defeat them. Therefore, the day when I use women will come. According to the divine principle, do we have to do it or not? Eve in the Garden of Eden had resentment that she was dominated by Satan. Didn't she? She did. Then you have to go out to restore it. The day will come when you cross the 38th parallel to go to North Korea. Women in the Unification Church have to know that unless you can fight against the People's Army to win, you can't resolve resentment that Eve on the heavenly side was sold to man in the satanic world, who is the same as the archangel. Once you stand up, armed with faith and the theory that women in the Unification family will completely dismiss the People's Army of men. If an evil enemy perishes, Men on the heavenly side will dance with joy. This is the result of unification thought. Do you understand? Yes. We have to organize a new historical crusade to march forward to an enemy's camp. You have to know that the group with the courage and power to pull a declining world in darkness up to bright daylight and morning are the women with the unification thought. When we are going out to fight, we have to send women out first. Do you welcome this? Yes. What are we going to do by this? We are going to fight against Satan, the worst communist. What do you mean you are going to? You won't run away?
No!
I said, yes. You won't run away. Can I trust you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because they are fallen archangels. Originally, Eve has to dominate them. Eve has to digest everything, even Satan. You have to be ready for it. Women who live in the peninsula will have a day when they have to go a way of indemnity as a sacrifice for the fate of the tribe and the nation. Do you understand? The people's army is an army of the archangel, isn't it? It is Satan's army, isn't it? Whose fault is it that they started making an army in the satanic world? It is because Eve made a mistake. Therefore, women in South Korea have to unite together as a nation. They have to destroy the entire satanic men's army and the people's army. Otherwise, the revelation of Korea can't be realized. We're now on page 422. What did those in the satanic world make that situation? It happened because the nation of South Korea made a mistake, and the traditional churches made a mistake. However, from now on, our future will be successful. In order to go that way, you, housewives, have to establish a new traditional standard. To do it, you have to go into battle armed with unification thought. You have to be a woman's army. Even though men went out to battle, have you ever heard that women did? Women destroyed the nation and the world, but have they even gone to war to liberate a nation? Men fought in the satanic world, but women never stood up on the front line for a nation. However, now women can receive the benefit of special privilege to be frontline soldiers for a nation because of my blessing you. You have to be grateful for it. There is only one chance to do it. Therefore, I'll tell you not to think about anything else. Men lead an external world, but women have to lead the internal, artistic world by making a foundation by which men can surrender. An external economical revival will be pulled into the fortune of the spiritual revival. Then the ideal of the unity of Korea will be realized. God will make a new strategy and prepare our way because I know everything about it. I'm asking you to do this. Therefore, we need the helping hands of women to unite North and South. Yes. Number 8. the history of the second mobilization. It is the second course of pioneering. Therefore, you have to march forward centered on the family. It is very important time. The second position is always an important matter. Now you will be tested on which you love most, the nation or the family. You will be tested in which you love most, your children, your husband, or God's will. Men fell because they loved the position closer to them. Men fell because they tried to respect themselves. Men won't fall if they stand in a position to respect the nation and God's will. Therefore, you have to stand in a position to deny all your family circumstances. By doing this, you can liquidate the fallen lineage that originated with Adam and Eve and make a foundation to be reborn into a position of a new level. You will think about your husband and children day and night. As soon as you close your eyes, you will see your baby's image, whom you nursed and left behind. You will hear what your husband used to tell you morning and night. He'll come to you in a dream saying, "Why have you abandoned me to go so far? I'm lonely." Even if you are faced with such circumstances and are pressed by them, you have to overcome everything with strong determination for the nation and God's will. Because women destroyed the heavenly sovereignty by not obeying God's will in the Garden of Eden, you have to establish the heavenly sovereignty by respecting God's will. While we try to establish the heavenly kingdom, we can determine the dignity of women who are supposed to accomplish their responsibility on the front line. You should know that the period of mobilization is that very time. What is the reason blessed wives are being mobilized? In 1970, in Jesus' 3-year course, he lost the tribe and the nation because he couldn't accomplish God's will because of women. Through fulfilling a 3-year course, you women have to prepare the foundation to restore the tribe, nation, and even the world which he lost in order to liberate the resentment of 3 years. We're now on page 423. By doing so, you can stand in the position to establish the foundation of the new bride whom Jesus desired and yearned for the first time. Then you can enjoy liberation fully and start a new family centered on the heavenly kingdom. This is the reason you have to go on a 3-year pioneering course until 1972. This is the same as the period I lived in a North Korean prison. 3 years. I lived in a prison, but you don't have to live in a prison. You have to go the same way in South Korea, in freedom, as I went living in prison in North Korea for 2 years and 10 months. Christianity and Christian women to whom God wanted to give the blessing couldn't respect me. Therefore, this is an important time to liberate the entire cause of my suffering. If you understand this, you have to give your utmost sincerity for the nation, centered on God's will. We have to liberate Jesus' resentment that he was prevented from embracing Judaism and uniting the family and tribe during his 3-year ministry. Now, whose fault was it that Jesus could not dissolve this resentment? It was woman's fault. Jesus could not have a bride. Isn't it so? There had to be Jesus' bride on the levels of individual, family, and tribe. To restore such a thing and liberate this resentment, the Unification Church has to fulfill women's mission to liberate individual, family, and tribal resentment. This is why I mobilized 1,200 people for 3 years. Do you understand what I am talking about? Yes. You have to understand that the mobilization of the blessed families in 1971 had a very important meaning. When you look at a mobilization, it looks like the destruction of the family and the denial of reality that everything will break down. However, what is the reason and motivation to deny it? It is not a denial of the past, but it is for the benefit of the future. Whatever is left at the present can cast an anchor into the reality of the future, from the beginning to end. This reality stands as the foundation of the future. Therefore, even if South Korea perishes, in reality the unification group, which has an anchor for the future, is standing on the foundation for the future that won't perish. So, we're now on page 423, is 531. We'll be reading tomorrow the continuation of this topic, the history of second mobilization. Once a typhoon of sand blows into the land where 30 million people are sleeping. We will be reading that tomorrow. And today we started on page 419 and we ended up on page 423. So is there anybody who wants to share about our reading today?
Yeah, I'll say something.
Yes.
Yes, I just want to share that I have the utmost respect for our mother because her heart is so pure, and how her course has been very difficult. I often think about Eve, how she was unable to complete herself, to become one with the Heavenly Parent's heart, to become a true woman, a mature woman, to be herself. And as we look at the so-called modern civilization of the world, industrial world, whatever, and we see how women have advanced, and even our mother is leading the command, okay? Father said, if you're scared, you shouldn't even join. I like the way he put it. But, yeah. So now I know that Adam and Eve were blessed in Madison Square Garden, so I know that she's working with us also to fulfill God's will. Because within that will is our own happiness. It's our own joy, and it's our family in His will. Because that's why He created us in the first place. An object of goodness for the joy of God. So my prayers and my love go out to Mother who's in Hawaii and all the other women who are on the front line as we speak. Some are in, nobody knows about it but them and God. You see, nobody knows about that secret covert, let's call it. Anyway, but a father has called me a long time ago. And see, he called me, I got to go. And spirit is a spiritual thing. And so let us all just pray for each other's success in whatever it is that we were born to do. To continue where the female ancestors marched forward to accomplish God's will and creating a world of true love where all people can love one another as brothers and sisters. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nita. So is there anybody else who wants to share about our reading today? Anyone in the video conference? So Yoko-san is there with Nelson and Agnes.
She has a baby?
Yeah, they
Babies to do this now.
oh really?
I think she said March.
She gave birth already.
Oh,
The
okay.
third one. Anyone in the video conference or in the teleconference
It's not
who wants to share about our reading today? Anyone?
That the kingdom foundation for God's kingdom will not come unless women play an active role in that process. Father's making that clear. So the last organization that Father established, first one that he inaugurated, claimed that the conclusion of the building of this Nelson and Agnes or something, the gymnasium.
Yes, yeah.
I think it was a women's organization. Responsible to bring world. Father's very, 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 very of power, internal power, women have once they rise.
Yes, thank you, Arnoldo. Yeah, that's right. On page 422. Yeah, men lead an external world, but women have to lead the internal artistic world by making a foundation by which men can surrender. An external economical revival will be pulled into the fortune of the spiritual revival. Then the ideal of unity of Korea will be realized. So it's very significant. Anybody else? So if there's none, let's all rise and have unison prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, we're so thankful for this reading today. We pray that all those blessed wives who were mobilizing from 1970 to 1972 are being thanked for and acknowledged for their hard work, for even leaving their children in orphanages and leaving their husbands, and they were going around Korea to mobilize and
healing the resentment,
declare
past,
who's the Messiah, and also teach about the unification thought. We pray that the Women's Federation for World Peace and other organizations and the Organization of Women that Father established before going to the spiritual world, we pray that all of them now can really overcome even the People's Army of North Korea. We pray that Eve, as you have guided us today, will liquidate the resentment of all the women of the world, Eve herself. We pray that the women right now, with our true mother,
in the 7-year course,
not only running, but now is managing the unification movement, the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification. We pray that many things are happening and everything is growing, and we pray just like even the women queen in United Kingdom of Great Britain. We saw in history that when the women queen
they can see things
was
thousands of years,
running the empire, there was prosperity. There was
knows what he's talking about.
always
Good
fortune. So we pray that we are true mother running now
And
the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification
what's his soul?
here on earth. We pray that
Let you experience
many
that.
things can happen,
Joy
and we
that
pray
you
for
deserve.
Shana's prosperity, we pray for Shana's success, we pray for the vision of 2020, that before that and on that year we are already seeing the unification of North and South Korea. We pray for the prosperity of the world, which is also connected to the unification of North and South Korea, because that will be the last time, the last stand of Satan. We pray that all communists will bow down to our Heavenly Parents, and we pray for the success of all the members of the unification movement and those friends and relatives that they have, and we pray that our own relatives and friends also will see this playback and really be inspired to join us, and we can always have unity as one to really bring a better world, and we can join the Chungalgu, heaven here and earth. And we pray all of this in all our names and in my name. As an Asher Francis C. Catalan, bless the family, Aju. Uri esonen Good morning to you, our beloved true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Good morning to the true children, the true grandchildren, and all the true brothers and sisters. Good morning. Good morning. Have a nice weekend, and see you tomorrow on Sunday service. It will be a warm and rainy day tomorrow. And today it will be warm also. Have a great day.
Gosh. I want to go out.